He's not dropping anything else. I fear this might be a disconnect. Everything he's got on the map right now might be the only thing that's going to continue in the attack. Roa Champ. Ooh, King has a spiky ball. Hold on. Giant Gauntlet. Tell me there's a chance.
I don't think so either. However, he's gone 6 out of 6 in the previous stages, 135 on average, and he's coming in first with the triple clone legs.
Ooh, very exciting. Sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes I feel like those clones do not get the great value. So a little bit of a gamble here. Let's see if it pays off for him. He's got the normal dragons, a couple of dragon riders, and even an Inferno dragon to toss into the mix there. I think maybe sometimes just to help take out enemy heroes quickly if they heat up, or take out CC troops. We'll see. But look at these clones. Lots and lots of balloons all over the middle of the base, and the Gigabomb did not take them all out, so they're still getting some extra value.
Yeah, this is what you love to see. When you do have the triple clone, almost the entire core does go down. Now, we do still have some of those major defenses still standing. The scatter shot does still stay, as well as the single Inferno nearby the clan castle, and also the Eagle Artillery being placed up top at 12 o'clock and not going directly for it early on means that it's going to be striking pretty hard from the sky onto these dragons making their way towards these defenses.
Royal Champion on the north side of the base. Look at that spiky ball go into the first layer of defenses and actually get some pretty decent value. Taking out everything in that row except for the Eagle and the Expo, but left them on low HP. We got the Royal Champion ability. The Hogs get out in front, but that Tornado Trap catches the Royal Champion and makes her start doing the disco dance there underneath the Grand Warden. We did unfortunately pull some Ice Golems out of the defensive clan castle, but it's no big deal because we still have like 17,000 dragons alive with the Grand Warden to help out, and it's looking good, but now that I start looking at the time, ooh, this might be a little slow.
Yeah, time-wise, this is not ideal for Marcos. However, it is the first triple on the board, meaning that Team Queso will have to triple their first attack as well. This might even be one of the slowest attacks that we've seen over the weekend.
Indeed, a minute 50, not ideal as you mentioned, but still 3 stars, a 3-star. The last match we just watched had 3 defenses, so this might not come down to average attack duration at all. But it will be fun to keep pointing out the attack speeds until we do see that fail, if it does end up coming through. But Team Queso have got to be feeling good about that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I'm also sure that these players, it's not just us that are keeping an eye out on the time. I'm sure that they are keeping an eye out themselves, just because they know that with the meta being so strong on offense, there have been a lot of offensive triples coming through. So even if they're going to be happy with that 3-star, sometimes they're even hard on themselves. Like, you can see it on the camera. They get these triples down, we're cheering for them. However, they're not happy because it's not within the time frame that they wish that they would have gotten it down.
Yeah, and I think with Amar Gupta in particular, normally when he's happy about his 3-star, he tends to stare into the camera as his troops are getting the last few defenses in a very humorous way, and this time I don't think he was doing that, so obviously he was feeling a little bit down on himself.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but the thing is though, he's still got the triple, and we've seen even yesterday with Susie that we actually didn't have too many matches that came down to time. So I hope that Marcos don't be too hard on themselves after the first attack, because even though it is 1 minute 50, the triple is there. And also, maybe it will change things up the way that maybe Team Queso are going to be playing as well, because 150 means maybe they know that they have quite a lot of time. Maybe they'll play it slower there as well.
That could be an interesting point. Maybe Team Queso slows something down and it ends up, tweaking one of their plans in a way they weren't expecting, and they end up messing something up. We'll have to wait and see, but they are also bringing the dragons and the clone spell, just one on this attack in particular though, and yet again you're seeing the Frosty utilized with the Queen.
Yeah, the arrow flew all the way across the base. Did we get both sweepers down with that arrow?
Looks like he did. No sweepers in this base to worry about. We do have the battle blimp soaring for the town hall. And with the clone spell, I think it looks like he cloned mostly rocket balloons. Might have gotten a Yeti. I'm not sure. Now he's gonna. Ooh, I think he double dropped his freezes in the core. Probably not ideal, but so many dragons still alive, pathing into that core. They might be able to just smash through this base. We'll have to see. Where is this Archer Queen? Did she go down early?
I'm not sure where the queen is. She's not out to play. Let's put it that way. The world champion is clearing up those clan castle troops from the top side of the base. Baby dragons are also on cleanup duty for some of those ground defenses. World champion being locked in place from the freezes from those ice golems, but she slowly makes her way towards the right hand side. King just makes it in towards the scatter shot, however, will go down. The revive just didn't have enough power. It's all about if this world champion or those dragons can clear up on this south hand side. It will just take a little bit of time. I'm not sure if the world champion can do it alone.
It's hard to tell. Well, he's getting some super barbs in there to distract, but with those skeletons also distracting the champion, the Expo doing a 180 quick scope. Down goes the Royal Champion, but is there just enough dragons? Oh, actually, this is getting really sketchy. Down goes the air defense. Two
Oh.
dragons left. Two Teslas do
Oh.
maybe more damage than you think. How much HP does that other dragon have?
Oh, that one dragon might even go down. We're dealing with those skeletons popping up. Oh, it does have half health. Gets the Tesla down, but my goodness, one dragon saves the day. Rami gets the triple down for Team Queso, and just like that, Team Queso don't have a huge advantage over them. That would have been the window of opportunity to do so. However, it was an extremely close one on that one.
You can't get much closer than that. One dragon left over, well less than half HP at the very end. I was just kind of clenching there, wondering if there was going to be one Seeking Air Mine as that dragon was making the last few moves over to the bomb tower. Whew, that got scary. I didn't see exactly how fast that attack was. Maybe we'll see the stats update here in just a second. But I don't think it's going to be a huge... Oh, actually, it was slower than I thought. Look at that. We're almost dead even after the first round of attacks because of that.
Yeah, 6 seconds. And see, Marcos, they were being hard on themselves. This is what we were just saying. It was being hard on himself because it was too slow for his preference, but it still gives them the advantage after the first round. But especially with it being so close, maybe a defense is up for grabs for one of these teams.
Going to be very interesting. I have a feeling this might not be a perfect war. One of these teams, maybe even both, end up slipping up, and we're going to have to really think about percent. So we'll see how careful these attackers are going to be, what kind of risks they're willing to take, especially, you know, the attackers right now coming up next, because they don't know if speed's actually going to matter or not. So they will be trying to consider speed, and it could lead to all sorts of some interesting risks going on.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely do think that it might not be a 15-15 on this one. I feel like we've seen some attacks, especially from Team Queso, that might have been a little bit closer than I would have loved to see. But they have been playing pretty consistently. They still be getting those triples down at the end of the day. But we'll see if Tanwar can do the same thing. Now, he's also got those Root Riders. Siege Barracks already placed there on the left. Queen with the giant arrow, I assume for funding purposes. Two loons that he also dropped up top, I assume to test for any potential traps for those healers, because we did see them go down in previous ones.
Indeed, it's fun to see. We pointed this out a few times earlier, but the Eagle artillery being placed so far to the outside of the base, it's just something I'm not used to in the base building metas of the past, but it seems to be the go-to thing in the current setup, I guess, against these dragon attacks, against these Root Rider attacks, because they have to decide whether they're going to get the Eagle early, or if they don't decide to do that, it's going to stay up for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Now we do have to let these Root Riders go towards the right-hand side. Now the Queen is going to join up with them. King actually might even as well, as he's clearing up from that right-hand side corner. Now the Town Hall and the nearby defense do resurface. So the Queen's actually going in towards the center already. Tanwar is using these spells very, very nicely for his Royal Champion and the Queen, and he gets the triple down. We still have so many heroes still standing, as well as so many of those troops that powered through pretty nicely in some record speed here as well for Marcos.
There's back to Marco's back to what we're used to on paper, seeing them do that sub 80-second 3-star attack. That's what most of their attacks have been consistently throughout the tournament. That one's going to bring their average down by quite a bit, at least 15-ish, 16 seconds. It looked like it brought the average down by. So nicely done right there, putting all the pressure on Team Queso, who have to equally get as fast of attack. In fact, I think even 6 seconds faster if they want to make it a dead tie.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They will definitely be keeping an eye on it. But of course, the triples, I'm scared that we're going to get a defense in this. I can feel it coming, and I'm just like, oh no, which team is it going to be for? It feels like these attacks. This one was much better. It seemed much more overpowered towards the end as well for Marcos, but it feels like we might see some close ones on this one.
Indeed, I think the pressure might be getting to these teams. Maybe just the fact that they've been having to sit in their chairs and be ready to play for many hours throughout the day. Now they're starting to get antsy. The pressure, as we had just mentioned. Maybe they're hungry. Who knows what all sorts of factors is going on. Even the times where each of these players are located, we have no idea. It could be really late at night for some of these guys, but it does seem like some of these attacks are looking closer and closer, while some of them are just absolutely steamrolling bases.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like both of these teams, they bring the best of both worlds. They bring some really crazy attacks. However, when things go wrong, sometimes it feels like it might be a little bit tougher to recover from. However, the next attacker, Santiago, I think this is the MVP for Team Queso. He went 9 out of 9 in the previous stages of the Global Clash Cup with an average attack time of 129. So he's definitely one to look out for, to see if he can sway the attack time in favor of Team Queso.
Indeed, it's a very good statistical hit rate to have right there, helping his team get all the way to this point in the tournament. We'll see what he's able to bring. A minute 29 right now with the current match stats. I mean, that might not be too bad. Who knows what Team Queso's, the rest of their attacks are going to bring, but obviously these guys right now are hoping for a very quick attack, give them the lead, get things swinging back into their favor, and let's see what he's going to be able to bring to the table, what cool equipments he's going to have to get the job done, and if he can have a super fast attack. And in order to do that, he's bringing back the Root Riders.
Yeah, it's always a favorite to go to, especially when we're looking out for time advantages. And we tend to see the Royal Champion with the Siege Barracks funding. We get that Eagle Artillery down nice and early because the Royal Champion can jump directly over these walls. Queen up top again. Love that we're bringing in the Frosty to help slow down the defenses, but also keep those the health up on the Queen as these Root Riders are making their way through directly in between these heroes.
Royal Champion working by herself on the left side of the base here. Gonna have to fight the Ice Golems. A good poison spell gets rid of all the archers at least. Only 2 Ice Golems to worry about. And as I mentioned, that one of them goes away from the Royal Champion, I think because the Spirit Fox went invisible. So she only had to deal with one. She's got the backup of the Super Minions now, helping out the Barbarian King on the right side of the base, doing his thing with the Super Barb to assist him. He's got so much HP, got his ability still intact. He'll be able to get tons of value over there. The overgrowth on the Town Hall, and so many units just cruising through the middle of the base here.
Yeah, he definitely does have so much still remaining. He still has quite a few spells to invest. As we said, we've got a freeze on the Town Hall. The King ability goes off. He used that rage already, and he doesn't even need the second freeze spell. Team Queso get the triple down.
Beautifully done there. I didn't see, again, exactly how fast it was. Did it up? No, it'll update here in a few seconds. We'll see who has the lead. But no matter what, there it is, 134 to 137. We're just staying close. Staying close. Whatever Marcos Esports are doing, Team Queso just doing something very similar, and that's fun to see how it really is like a mindset thing, and the momentum, whatever someone else does, that's what the other team feels like they have to beat or at least get close to, and oftentimes that ends up being right around what they get.
Yeah, they're bouncing off each other very well. As you can see, we had the slower attack to start with from both sides. Now we had a bit of a quicker attack from both side. So I'm very interested to see what happens in the third round and see how this plays out and towards the very, very end.
Oh man, you might be jinxing them without jinxing them. We'll have to wait and see. If one team has a 1 star, will the other team also have a 1 star?
Hey, well, at least it'll be even. It will still be pretty tense towards the end if they both get a 1 star.
Part of me is kind of hoping, we end up seeing a tie on percent, but not a perfect war here at some point. That happens every once in a while, but not too often. But that would be hilarious.
Yes, indeed. Christian John, the stats still really good. I mean, average destruction 98.3. He only missed one single attack in the previous stages. I think he's played pretty well throughout the tournament today. I mean, they only went down to the lower bracket here from the finals in the upper bracket. So definitely a good player to go up next. Can't wait to see what he brings.
We'll see. He did have that one slip up in the past, but so far today, been looking rock solid. I mean, this entire team has been looking rock solid. They only really lost that upper bracket match because, I mean, Dizzy were just phenomenal, so quick with their attacks. I think Marcos ended up with, what was their average? Like 119 on a perfect war, and it just wasn't good enough, and they got sent to the lower bracket because of that. They are still rocking and rolling, and we'll see what they're able to bring here. See the attack strategy. It's going to be yet again the Root Riders. 3 skeleton spells to mix in this time, however.
Yeah, I love that. Is that because we do have 2 single infernos in the center of the base. He wants to make sure that he can distract those. Now he actually had what was Queen Arrow for?
Say again?
The Queen's arrow, she got deployed there on that right hand side, but I don't think she pulled off any defenses. I think only 2 buildings actually managed to go down as we strike all the way across the base.
Yeah, an interesting use of the giant arrow. I mean, it's maybe softening up a couple buildings. Maybe you could argue it's distracting some of the builders because there's stuff repairing, whatever the arrow hit instead of repairing other things. But overall, interesting to point out. Also interesting to see this Inferno Tower on the right side of the base. So easily walkable for the Archer Queen. She'll be able to just snipe it from the outside right there. That'll be good for the attacker. Lots of super barbs all around the outer edges of the base, of course, to help out with the speed. The overgrowth on the Town Hall expiring just in time for his main force to have another rage, another freeze to cruise through the middle section of the base. You can see there, Krishan has somebody walking behind him in the background, maybe another player, maybe just a family member, who knows. But down goes that Town Hall, and this is looking crushed for Marcos Esports.
Yeah, it really is, and it was a very quick one indeed. Maybe that was his IRL spotter, who knows? But that was a very good attack coming in from Marcos. Yet another triple. We'd love to see it. We'll have to wait for the stats to update so that we can keep an eye out on the time just in case we have a complete tie.
Indeed. That was a pretty average attack for these players' standards, right? I mean, obviously that was a great attack. Everybody watching at home is probably just like, dang, that was fast. For these players, they're like, well, it was decent. It did help boost their average attack time a little bit. So now they got a 10-second lead on average, but Team Queso have an extra attack to do. They have a chance here to also boost their average attack duration by up to 10 seconds, maybe, or even maybe more if they have a crazy, awesome 60-second attack. We'll just have to wait and see. But do you think out of these 2 teams, Team Queso is more likely to be the team to go with some risk, maybe some fireball action?
I agree. I feel like Team Queso, I feel like if one of these teams is going to play it risky, it might be Team Queso. Will they play it risky? I don't know. I feel like they might not. I think that they're going to play it safe and make sure that they can get, even if they do end up getting a defense or that they manage to actually get as much percentage in as possible. Because as we saw in previous, like yesterday, we had one which was a 90% 2-star. And then going into the final attack, they got a defense as an 85% of 5 building differences. Only a few buildings can be the difference between winning and losing. So I don't think they're going to play it too risky. But what do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to tell what their decision making is going to be here. I mean, at some point, if you're behind and this is an elimination match and you're the team attacking second, you have to pick up the pace. If you're the team attacking first, you could argue, it's not worth it because, like Marcos Esports in their position, you just keep on tripling, hope for the best, and then let Team Queso deal with the results since they attack second. But as the team attacking second, I mean, you know exactly what the benchmark you have to beat is. So at some point, if you feel like Marcos Esports are just going to finish with a perfect war, I mean, you got to start to go all out if you are behind. But we got to take it one step at a time. We're barely about to have their third attack, and this might just get them closer and closer back up to a tie.
Yeah, it could be a complete tie. As we said before, they were bouncing pretty well off of each other. So we'll see what Marcelo can do. Will he bounce pretty nicely off of the previous attack that we just saw? And if he does, it's going to be pretty good for his team. And again, of course, he's bringing in the style. He's got the hat yet again.
Love to see his captain hat. He's been doing that for a long time, too. I remember seeing that last year or maybe even earlier than that. I can't remember how
Yeah.
long he's been rocking that hat. But King and Queen working together on the left side of the base here. A little bit unusual for the Root Rider attacks. I mean, sometimes we do see the King and Queen together, but more often than not, they're on different sections of the attack. But King decides to dip out. Instead of taking that jump spell with the Queen, he goes all the way back up toward the top side of the base. Now Queen has to work by herself, and the Root Riders, he seems to be losing a lot of steam there as well.
Yeah, this isn't looking too good at the moment. Let's see how this one recovers. The Queen did use her ability, spawning in some of those healers. They have taken some damage already, but the scatter shot's going to hit them. It's going to do so much damage. She does manage to get the enemy Queen down, but I really wish that the King didn't go away. He walked so far away. It's because you said they're working together, you know? They were like, wait, are we? It went all the way through the town hall. Now there's so much damage still coming through, and I don't know. There's a lot of splash damage still left.
He's got one freeze, but he already used the champion ability. There's a poison tower that's going to come into play. It's going to come down to what these defenses are targeting. He elects to use that freeze early. Which way is the poison tower going to go? Which way? Toward the super barbs? That's actually perfect for him because I think the royal champion is going to be his best chance at getting things done here, and it's looking good after all.
Phew. It looked scary at one point. As you said, the power in the house that we had with all of those troops up top, they just struggled. And the craziest thing is that they struggled, especially when the king was present up top as well to help them power through, but it was just not enough. We're very, very lucky that we still had that royal champion, the poison spell tower getting pulled, and he still had a bunch of troops that was distracting some of those shots from the monolith away from the royal champion and those the troops coming through the defenses from the center. It worked out very well in the end.
Indeed, and that attack by itself ended up being a very similar time to their average. So their average didn't budge a single second. So after three attacks from both teams, Team Queso down by 10 seconds on average. That's roughly 30 seconds in total, give or take a few seconds, just depending on the exact individual results. So Marcos Esports got to be feeling good about that because they can probably just go with their normal, safe game plan, do the attacks they love so much that typically get them triples in that, 75 to 90-second range, and it might just be good enough to carry them all the way into the grand finals.
Yeah, if they're locked in and they're playing comfortable and playing the attack strategies that they tend to like to use, I think that's when Marcos shine the best. When they play what they're used to and they're in their comfort zone, I think they do play very well. They've been playing pretty strong as well within the current meta. I think it's been doing them quite a lot of favors. So I'm excited to see what happens. We do only have 2 attacks remaining, and the scariest part is after this, one of the teams are going home, which is so sad to say because both of these teams have played incredibly well. Team Queso going through the lower bracket as well, which is pretty crazy, but we only have this and then the grand finals still remaining, so there's a lot of pressure on the line still.
It'll definitely be sad to have to say goodbye to one of these teams, but that's also what makes these tournaments so fun. The pressure, knowing somebody has to get eliminated, but it won't be for nothing. They'll still be walking away with that third place cash prize. And so let's see what exactly Marco's going to be able to do with their fourth attack. They're going with the good old Root Riders. Spinny wheel there, making me a little nervous, but it looks like we're back in,
I
I
see his
think.
camera frozen too. This is making. Oh, it's okay. Whew.
Oh, not again.
Oh no! Stop! I don't like this. I hate to see it because it's so heartbreaking when we get disconnected. I don't like that the camera's also freezing at the same time.
Yeah, this is not very reassuring. The spinning wheel and his camera buffering does make me feel like it's his connection might be a little sketchy, but well, we see the queen being used, so maybe he didn't lose connection after all. We got the wall breaker that does
Oh,
not make it to the wall. It died early. The siege barracks on the left doing its thing. Should be able to pull the poison tower to one of the P.E.K.K.A.s, indeed, and now the root riders from the northwest side of the base.
yeah, I'm very happy to see everything being deployed here. Queen does have these wall breakers coming through. Mr. Odile is opening up this wall to allow for the queen to go for a little deeper into this mini queen charge. In the meanwhile, the warden ability has been used to try and protect these root riders, and we're back again with the spinning wheel of death.
Oh no, the Wi-Fi connection here not helping him out at all. I guess we could just analyze what he might do next. I mean, look at those super hog riders on the left side of the base. Look like they're running on the treadmill, getting some exercise right now, warming up.
They're
Hopefully, if the
warming up.
attack continues, they are ready to rock and roll. And yeah, they're in. Here we go. We got an overgrowth still to use. Oh, his camera might be tweaking.
Yeah, the overgrowth hasn't come in just yet. Queen still continuing up top. In the center, we're taking quite a lot of damage from the scatter shots and the monolith. They're all being raged up from the rage spell tower, and I don't see the overgrowth coming in just yet. I don't know what that means.
No.
We're gonna disconnect.
He's not dropping anything else. I fear this might be a disconnect. Everything he's got on the map right now might be the only thing that's going to continue in the attack. Royal Champ. Ooh, King has a spiky ball. Hold on. Giant Gauntlet. Tell me there's a chance. Tell me there's a chance. Grand Warden is healthy. Apprentice Warden getting some shots off as well. A P.E.K.K.A., a Root Rider on the outside of the base. Only one more cannon to get through over there. Do we have a Phoenix? We do. We have a Phoenix. Coco, even with a disconnect, he might still 3-star this base.
Oh my gosh! The cannon goes down! It's only cleanup! He's basically swagging 2 rage spells, an overgrowth spell, 2 freezes, and a skeleton spell. He disconnected mid-attack, and Marcos Esports still triple. This is crazy.
14 super barbarians. I mean, that's what, 70 troop space, 9 spell space that got absolutely swagged. He lost connection, didn't get to control when these things were swagged, and he still manages to 3-star the base. That is absolutely amazing. And the best part, the cherry on top, the amount of time it took those units to 3-star the base took them up to an average that perfectly matches Team Queso's 137.
There is no way. This must be scripted, right? There is no way that it's like a complete tie on time as well after that one. Now, Joel is actually bringing in yet another Lalo, second Lalo that we're seeing of the day. Very early Warden ability, getting in the blimp towards the Town Hall, raging up to make sure we can get the Town Hall down. It was nice that he actually managed to get some of those loons in the mix there too, as well as the Hound to help get some of those nearby defenses down. This is going really quickly already.
It's just going quickly. Team Queso trying to take advantage of that slow attack that just happened. I guess we can call it that. And if Team Queso gets a quick attack here, they could steal the lead, which they have not had for the entire duration of the match. Now, he's already utilized almost all of his troops. All of the spells are gone. All he's got is the Royal Champ ability. There's a lot of defenses to get through here. It's going to be so reliant on the Royal Champion and the Spirit Fox to get things done.
Yeah, the Royal Champion does have a decent amount of health. Oh, but there are some skeleton traps that pop up, distract her, but she does go back for this multi-inferno. The good thing is the Fox is actually still alive. She's so incredibly low, but it's actually going to protect the Royal Champion as she goes for the Expo up top.
Oh gosh, can she go invisible one more time? One more
Ah!
time. No!
So close.
Down goes the champion. No plan B for the last two defenses. And with only a couple minions left to go, oh, that's a heartbreaker. The first slip up of the match. Team Queso not going to be able to get the triple here. I think these minions will end up dying, if not to traps, then to the Archer Tower and the Wizard Tower.
This is very, very unfortunate for Team Queso, especially moving into the final round of attacks after this being 1 star behind. I can't believe that what we have at our hands. We had a disconnect from Marcos, which still managed to triple. And the next attack from Team Queso is falling 4 buildings short, putting Marcos 1 star in the lead.
That is just incredible. Wild for Marcos. I mean, if they win this match, they are just going to be having such a laugh about it to be able to disconnect. And not just like a disconnect toward the end of the attack, but like a significant disconnect. He didn't get to use 9 of his spells, and they still might win this match by stars, not even by average attack duration. Oh, this is going to make for a crazy finish here leading into the grand finals, but we still got one more attack from Marcos Esports that has to come through in order for them to secure that victory.
Yeah, I agree. Last attacker from Marcos. They have to stay locked in, get that triple down, or what was it, 94% 2-star that they have to beat? Or was it 96?
It might have been a 96. I think it's a 96.
Either 4 buildings left or it was a 94. I've got the 4 stuck in my head. But definitely going to have to be a pretty close 2-star though, pretty high. That's for sure if they want to make sure that they take the victory over Team Queso in the finals of the lower bracket.
Indeed, and we're finally at another one of these situations where they don't have to worry about time anymore. Marcos can slow down, they can focus on the funnel. It's probably too late to change the attack strategy. I don't think, if they had Dragon's Plan, they're going to switch to a Queen charge or anything right now. At least that would be silly. He only gets like 1 minute to plan the attack if that was the case. But at least he doesn't have to worry about being super hyper fast with every single drop. He can just focus on the funnel, then focus on what's next. And looks like he's bringing the Root Riders with the Golem and a Spiky Ball.
Yep. Spiky Ball is always fun to watch. We'll see. We don't have any Quakes to combine it with, but it still does some really nice damage as it gets those bounces. We have the Queen setting up the funnel for the King, so the King can go actually into this compartment and go and get this first Inferno down. Up top, the Siege Barracks is going to be cutting off the path for these Root Riders going directly in at the 11 o'clock side.
Nice jump spell for the King and the Queen. Spiky Ball moves perfectly through the middle and actually snipes the Poison Tower on the other side. Wow, I don't know if that was predicted or not, if you can even predict that, but that's phenomenal value. So that Poison Tower gonna expire right as the rest of the Root Riders get there, and it basically gets no value.
Yeah, we've got the Overgrowth coming in on the Town Hall, getting both scatter shots under there. Now we are getting the Monolith down. King does go to a revive because the Phoenix is supporting, and Queen is taking quite a bit of damage. Good thing we still have that King able to help out. Queen does have her ability, which MWC does invest here on the left-hand side, meaning she can regain some health before the Overgrowth spell fades away.
He's got so many troops alive. Good use of spells at the end. He still has the Warden ability. Oh, this is just insane. Being able to save the Grand Warden Eternal Tome till the very end of the attack. I mean, he could have swagged that. Wow, a crushing blow from Marcos Esports, giving them yet another perfect war here today. Even with the disconnect, they are moving on to the grand finals. They're going to get another chance to play against Dizzy in competition for that silver ticket. That'll be really exciting coming up next, but Team Queso still got one more attack to show us what they're made of before they exit the tournament.
Yeah, let's see if they can end strong. But Marcos, honestly, it is fantastic. I love that we actually do have like a little bit of a revenge match coming up next. But we'll see what happens with Team K. So will they go for some fun? Will they show us some of their tricks, or will they just be showing how strong that they can end? It is very unfortunate that they just fell short by only a few buildings towards the very end. They had a fantastic run, especially there in the lower bracket. You know, more matches that need to get played, and they played it pretty nicely.
Yeah, an incredible team. Even though they're not going to move through here, they still have phenomenal stats, defeating so many teams to get to this position here. They're going to be finishing in the third place spot, which still, a nice little chunk of change going their way. So huge congratulations to them for that. And we'll see what they decide to bring out with their last attack. Hopefully, it'll be something fun, something entertaining, something that'll show us what they're made of moving forward.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But Marcos, I wonder what Dizzy are up to. I assure you that they've been keeping an eye out on these on these matches. Maybe they're changing up some of their bases. If you were ever in a situation where you were able to keep an eye out in your future opponents, what did you specifically look out for?
Usually, certain things, like obviously the simple ones are what attack strategies are they using? But then if you even get more detailed than that, when certain players are attacking symmetric bases, a lot of players tend to come in from either the right side or the left side. Sometimes we thought it was because they were right or left-handed. Sometimes, right eye dominated, whatever. But a lot of players you'll see against symmetric bases where the left and the right side of the base are the exact same, they always attack from the right side. And if you can pinpoint that in certain teams, a lot of times we would stack all the traps on that one side, and it can make a significant difference. I don't know if a lot of these other teams are doing that, but that was one thing to keep out for.
Yeah, I do definitely remember seeing a few baited attacks here and there in the past. I don't think we've seen too many recently, but it has gone to show with, for example, some of the healers, as you mentioned. You pointed it out. They do get sniped off pretty quickly at times when there are some hidden traps, the seeking air mines as well, especially with fireballs. If people are able to predict where the fireballs are coming in, and maybe even just place one hidden Tesla around where that they might be placed, it could screw up the whole attack.
Indeed, yeah, that's exactly what we saw earlier in the other match with Stamina. Um, it was Cynthi's Fireball, I think, that just got all sorts of out of place because of that one Tesla, and it's happened to several other players as well, which is why I think a lot of these teams are starting to put just one or two of those Teslas out there where they think that Fireball might come in from, and it's working. You either got to check for it early or you got to completely ignore it. And it looks like we're being told the last attack from Team Queso actually did not come in time at all. Kind of unsure if he just wasn't willing to do his last attack or lost internet connection or what. But we're being told the war ended. The 10th attack did not go through. And well, we already knew the results anyway. It's going to be a W for Marcos Esports. They are advancing to the grand final, where they have another chance to go up against Dizzy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a revenge match here, Marcos. They did have that amazing run, but this next triple honestly might be a bit of the highlight of that match. I think that is pretty crazy. They end so incredibly strong. 15 stars. We did have one missed attack there for Foshi from TK, so we didn't manage to get that on the scoreboard, of course. So we'll just have to wait and see if Marcos can match that, because we are going to go into the upper bracket grand finals. If we get the bracket up, I can give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what this means. If you are just tuning in, we have Dizzy Group sat there in the grand finals up against Marcos, who did already face them in match 11, as you can see. So they did go down to that lower bracket, and now because they're going back up to the grand finals, that means they will have to win twice, because Dizzy Group haven't even won, they haven't even lost a single match yet. They've won every single round.
Indeed, only two teams left in this tournament. Dizzy have won every single match they have played in the Global Clash Cup. They've done phenomenal. Marcos, the only match they've lost in this tournament was against Dizzy just a couple hours ago, where both teams hit a perfect war.